Ladies and gentlemen, hate and racism is going to be the death of this entire world. It really is. When you hate someone, when you can't stand having someone around, it makes you act out in anger. It makes you act out violently. And racism is the same as that. Racism is this belief that the dominant society truly has more than anyone else in this world because no one else still thinks this way. They believe that they're superior to all of us who are not like them. When you look at all the mass shootings that take place, when you look at all the shootings that take place pretty much in America here, the majority of the shooters are not black people. The majority of the shooters are not people who are of any other background but the dominant society's background. I'm not going to come on here and tell you that black people don't commit crimes because I know that's a bullshit lie. We have people in our community that commit crimes. We have people in other communities that commit crimes as well. But when you look at these mass shootings, like the synagogue, when you look at the people who mail bombs to people, you look at the Oklahoma City bombings, those weren't black people. Those were members of the dominant society that were doing that. That's domestic terrorism. If you really want to call it what it really is, it's domestic terrorism. Domestic meaning home on your own grown soil. Not people outside the US, but people right here in the United States that are committing acts of terrorism against their own people. Because last time I checked, we're all supposed to be American. So if you're an American citizen and you are committing crimes of terrorism, instilling fear into people and panic, you are a terrorist. But unfortunately, they don't want to call these people that commit these crimes terrorists. They always want to use some excuse talking about these people have a mental illness, a history of mental illness. I don't care how mental you are. Nobody could plan the attacks that these people plan. Someone that is not in their right mind cannot plan an attack. They cannot make bombs because even if it is a sick person that is doing this, they don't have the mental capacity to put this together, to put that together, to put anything together that can cause death for someone. Not in that particular fashion. Someone who is very slow in the head will not have the particular knowledge or know-how to put bombs together to make this and that work. So I'm tired of them using that excuse that is mental illness. If a black person commits a crime against someone, especially a member of the dominant society, they're not going to use the mentally ill excuse at all. And a lot of us in the black community definitely have mental illness. We can cop that before anybody else in this world can cop that because we're still dealing with stuff these days. I'll give you examples of how black people are displaying mental illness every single day. And they're doing it. I'm really getting sick and tired of hearing these stories about these people calling the police on us. I'm getting tired of seeing my people, men, women, and children being shot and murdered by members of the dominant society, whether it be policemen or just regular citizens that have licenses for guns. When a person has a history of violence, they shouldn't be walking around the street. They should be locked up in some sort of mental institution to get themselves the help that they need before they go out there and hurt people, because that's exactly what they will do. That will be the end result. That is why these people who lost their lives in this synagogue were victims of this pathetic individual who was a pathetic excuse for a human being, known as Robert Boyers or John Boyers, whatever his name is. He's a demon as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't make any sense. You've seen the shootings that took place last year in Las Vegas. That was a member of the dominant society. Timothy McVeigh, Oklahoma City. Children were killed in those explosions. There was a preschool that was next to that building that got caught in the explosion. Those kids died. Sandy Hook, another example. Children being murdered. It wasn't black people that did that. It was a member of the dominant society who was unstable and had a sick mind. When Batman came out in the movie theaters, the person that shot up that theater and killed those people while they were watching Batman, That was a member of the dominant society. Back in the 90s, there was a daring bank robbery. Two individuals. I believe they were both members of the dominant society as well. They wore Kevlar armor and they had a huge shootout with the police. It was caught on camera. I saw it on World's Wildest Police videos way back in the 90s, early 2000s. They showed the video of this. I'm getting sick of them telling the entire world or trying to make the entire world believe that black people are the true savages on this earth when they're not. And I'm not going to tell anybody in this video that I have a hatred for the people in the dominant society, because I don't. I don't hate them. I dislike their narrative. I dislike what they do because they're trying to make it look like they are innocent victims and always are innocent victims of us or someone else who is not of the dominant society. Either it's a black person that has committed a crime against them, an Arab person, or a person who's not white. And they're the victims of this. You're not the victims. Now, I'll say this. Some of you are the victims of your own, but not the victims of us all the time. Majority of the time, white people kill white people. And that's just a fact. You can argue with me all you want. You can try to tell me statistics, but the statistics will show you when you look for them that the majority of the time when a white person gets killed, they're not a victim of a black person. They're a victim of their own people. Policemen kill you too. They like to mess with us a lot and kill us too, but they kill you too. And a lot of you kill each other. When we talk about these mass shootings, black people are not really involved in mass shootings like that. Now, we have seen some cases where there was a black man that was a gunman that held people off for a couple of, held the authorities off for a while and then was taken down, murdered because they had no other choice. But the majority, and I mean the majority, meaning the majority, meaning the whole, if you want to talk about like the total of these accounts where these shootings, these massacres take place, they're members of the dominant society that are doing this. Back in the 80s, in McDonald's, there was a massacre. This man walked into some McDonald's and murdered almost everybody in there. I think, matter of fact, everybody in there pretty much did die. Maybe 3 or 4 people, 5 people might have lived. I'm not 100% sure. I remember seeing it on one of these channels on YouTube. I was watching Criminally Listed or something like that it was called. I mean, you have to think about it. I'm getting tired of them talking about black people are the problem. Black people are the ones that commit the most crime. No, we don't. We don't massacre people the way you massacre people. And again, this video is not about hatred. I'm not trying to get any black person that watches this video to hate white people, because I don't hate white people myself. I don't like the lies they tell. I don't like the narrative that they're pushing. I damn sure don't like the interracial agenda that they're pushing right now. I don't like it at all. But I'm not going to sit here and keep listening to these people talk about black people are the problem. The crime comes from black people. No, it doesn't. We commit crime. Yes, we do. I'm never going to say that we don't. We have people that do that. But the majority of the time, you people are the ones who are committing the most crimes. And you're the ones who are taking the most lives from your own people. Because you are allowing many people of the dominant society to get off when they do these things. They don't learn their lesson if they're murdering people and you're getting them mental help when they should have gotten mental help before they decided to murder people. You're not helping your people or anybody else in this country or in this society when you are allowing people to have mental illnesses to walk around, so to speak, because you say they have mental illness. I don't know if they really do. I think they're just fucking stupid, period. Just psychotic, period, and want to kill somebody. But in your account, you say they're mentally ill. So if you know someone is mentally ill and has a history of violence, why is someone with a history of violence walking around in public amongst people when they can blow a fuse any minute? That doesn't make any sense. You're putting people's lives at risk by having these people walk around. They should be kept somewhere where they are locked up and being treated for what they need to be treated for. It's like I said, a lot of black people got mental illness. We're going around telling other black folks that we need to be with white people. We got black folks that think it's okay for racism to continue. We got black folks that think that this system of oppression is a system that we belong in. We got black folks that are, they hate themselves for being black because they believe they're inferior to everybody else because they believed in the lie that had been told to them by the dominant society. They believe that black people that are just trying to tell them what's going on in this world are their enemy, and they're not. Their real enemy is out there laughing at them. I don't get it. But I'm going to tell you one damn thing. You look at most of these cases with these people who have been committed these murders. Like I just told you a bunch off the top of my head right now about how many, I could think of. And there's even more than that. And the majority of the shooters are white men. I'm saying it on camera. They're white men. There's nothing wrong with me saying that they're white men because it's real. It's reality. It's a fact. It's documented. It doesn't make any sense. You're going to tell me that black people commit these crimes like this? But the majority of the time, we keep seeing you do it. These people that support Trump are trying to kill people that don't support Trump, sending bombs to their residence, trying to kill Robert De Niro because he spoke out against Trump on many occasions, trying to kill Obama. Look at the shootings in Columbine. 2 white kids shot up a school. Who were the victims? Other white kids, and I think 1 black kid died too. But when it comes to these big massacres, black people are not doing this shit. And again, I'm going to reiterate because I don't want somebody to say, oh, he's spreading hatred. No, I'm not. I've already told you, and this is the 3rd time saying it, I know that black people commit crimes as well. But when it comes to massacres like this, I have never seen more men than men in the dominant society that have been responsible for this. Not black men, but men of the dominant society. And yet we still have people in the community talking about how good these men are as a better choice over black men. We still have people defending these issues. Defending these people, and when they talk about black issues and stuff like that, they're defending these people that commit crimes against us. They're forgiving these people that commit these crimes. That man wanted to do a Dylan Roof. That man that shot up those 2 people in that grocery store. He shot this old man in the back of his head in the front of his 12-year-old nephew, a 12-year-old grandson, excuse me. Now that boy has to grow up and relive that every day of his life, and he's going to be traumatized because of that. And I'm supposed to say I forgive this man? I'm supposed to be one of the family members out there that will say I forgive this man for killing that grandfather? Can you imagine the offspring of this man who was murdered? I've told you before, if anything ever happens to somebody in my family, and I pray to God that it never does, knock on wood, I pray to God it never happens, I'll be the one out there in front of the cameras with my face shown, and I will be telling people on camera, I do not forgive, and I want the death penalty, and I mean it. I'm all about an eye for an eye. I'm not going to be one of these house Negroes that'll come on and say, oh, we need to be friends. We need to think of Martin Luther King Jr. You killed Martin Luther King Jr., remember? You obviously didn't believe in wanting to get along because you killed someone based on the color of their skin. So apparently you didn't believe in what Martin Luther King Jr. believed in. And even Martin Luther King Jr. didn't believe in that near the end of his life. Knew it was a mistake to integrate with these people. And it was, because you continue to see what happens now. But that's neither here or there. And I'm not going to talk about integration because I already did a video about that already. And it was respectful, even though it told you about what has happened since we've been integrated. And that segregation was a better choice. We will always have crime here. There are always going to be someone in our community that commits crime. But the reason that this world will definitely go down in flames is because of hatred and because of racism. Racism has been on this planet since the dawn of time. When those people first saw us and they distinguished us by categories, calling us black and then white, and thinking that because they're white, they're a lot smarter, a lot more intelligent than we are. We contributed more things than they could ever possibly ever believe that they could even achieve of doing. But they will never give us the credit for that. You'll never know that unless you do your research. But I just wanted to do this quick video because I'm so sick and tired of people who have hatred in their heart for black people and people who have these racist ideals in them saying that black people are the reason why this country is so full of crime. It's not. The majority of the people who are committing these terroristic acts, domestic terrorism acts, and killing people, killing their own people, are members of the dominant society. And I'm not saying it to be hateful. This is not hate speech. This is a fact. Look it up if you don't believe me.